Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and today I am finishing up the playthrough of Mortal Kombat 11's Standard Story Mode. After this episode, all I'm going to have left is the DLC story Aftermath, but we'll worry about that in the next episode. We're just going to go ahead and focus on completing this story mode for now. So we have played through everything except the last two chapters, so I'm not going to try and waste too much time recapping the entire game because, well, it's almost over. If you do want to see everything that happened in this game, though, I will go ahead and include the playlist for Mortal Kombat 11 Story Mode. That way you can go back and check it out if you want to. But at this point in the game, all you really need to know is that the Titan of Time Kronika is trying to reset the timeline because she's not happy with the way things have turned out with the interference from characters like Raiden the Thunder God. And our main characters really don't want time getting reset because they kind of like it the way it is for the most part. And for many of those characters, if the time gets reset, they're going to be removed from the timeline altogether. So at this point, all the main characters are just waiting for the opportunity to try and stop Kronika, and that opportunity is presenting itself in the form of Scorpion showing up with intel about where to find Kronika in the Netherrealm. He tried presenting this information to Raiden, but Raiden was very skeptical about it, and it led to a fight, and that's where the last episode ended, and we're going to go ahead and see what exactly happens between Raiden and Scorpion following their confrontation. Let's go ahead and get this thing started and wrap up story mode.
Spout your falsehoods elsewhere, Scorpion. Kronika will not entrap us.
It is no trap. Charon awaits you in the Netherrealm.
Lord Raiden, we should listen. He may be telling the truth.
There is only one way to find out.
Well, that was a really sudden heel turn. I guess it didn't take too much for Cassie Cage to convince him to use the amulet.
Now, Scorpion, the truth!
Raiden, stop this!
Step aside, Liukang.
Put down the amulet. Its darkness is taking hold of you.
Our time has run out. I do what I must to save Earthrealm. Stay down.
This is not the way. Scorpion is not the enemy this time.
Liukang, do not interfere.
Fight.
Alright, this is going to be a pretty long episode to try and wrap everything up, so I'm going to try and make these fights as fast as I can and break out all the crushing blows and everything else I can with Raiden and the eventual next chapter character just to try and expedite things as best I can. It's going to be a little bit challenging though because in Raiden's chapter there are 5 fights in total, and now that I'm thinking about that, in the last episode I need to correct something that I said because also in the Jax and Jackie chapter there were 5 fights, and I said something along the lines of one of those fights not being mentioned in the chapter select menu. Whenever I went back to get this recording going, I went and checked that out one more time, and it turns out it was there the entire time, and I just was completely oblivious and overlooked it, so my bad, I was completely incorrect about that. But with that correction out of the way, let's go ahead and focus on the fight at hand, which is Raiden versus Liukang. And a running theme in this game has been mirror matches between characters from the future and their past selves. And another theme has been getting people to fight against enemies they fought against back in Mortal Kombat 9. In this case, we're getting that treatment one more time, considering that Raiden and Liukang fought in Mortal Kombat 9 as well. In fact, it was the very last fight that Raiden had prior to facing off against Shao Kahn in the conclusion of that game.
Do not force my hand, Liukang. The realms hang in the balance. To defend them, I must command order.
I thought it impossible, but the Revenants were right. You cannot be trusted.
I do not need trust. I demand obedience.
Enough of your madness. If you must die, so be it.
This has happened before. Liukang, do not interfere. You cannot fight Shao Kahn. Liukang, stop!
Enough of your madness. If you must die, so be it.
Well, that was a pretty awesome cutscene with plenty of blasts from the past.
I have been a fool, Liukang. Kronika's puppet. We only battle because she wills it. I must help him.
I am genuinely curious, can that healing lightning work on Kotal Khan's spine?
I was wrong to doubt you. I too have been a slave to anger.
I do not understand, Lord Raiden. Your rage was caused by Kronika?
Yes, I succumbed to her influence. But then, our confrontation, it unlocked memories. Memories not only from this timeline, but from timelines that have come before.
Wait a sec, timelines? Plural?
Kronika has restarted time on countless previous occasions, using each timeline to learn and to perfect her plan. The details of each timeline are different, but in each one, events conspire to bring Liukang and I into conflict. In each one, he dies. Only Kronika has such power to control time and fate.
I don't get it. Why do that?
I do not know. But be assured, Kronika will control us no longer.
At long last, you see the pattern.
The pattern, but not the purpose. Why set me against Liukang?
Is it not obvious? Your combined power threatens my vision for the timeline.
Liukang and I will not be divided further by your machinations.
Oh, Raiden. Do you think this is the first time you made that vow? We have repeated this exact conversation so often in so many timelines. I've lost count.
This timeline will end differently.
We have played out all possible scenarios, Raiden. You cannot win. You are welcome to try, of course. But without Liukang by your side. Enjoy these final hours, Raiden. They are all you have.
I mean, all of that is really impressive and all, but isn't it a really bad idea to go ahead and explain everything that you were doing to your enemy?
Liukang, where is he?
Kronika has taken him to her isle. We must leave immediately to save the realms. We must save Liukang.
A new look? Just for me? You shouldn't have. What do you want from me?
You will aid in my protection.
Not likely. I have mastered Shinnok sorcery. I will add your soul strength to mine, and finally avenge myself upon Raiden.
My friends, Raiden's armies are coming. They will fight us, and they will lose.
Kronika's isle lies beyond the fog. Battleships. My ferries cannot fight a war.
This fleet is under my protection. If Charon falls, our fleet cannot sail. Protect him at all costs.
Ramming speed!
I don't want to fight, but I've got to. For Jackie's sake and mine.
So I already established in the previous episode that I really do not care for the Old Man Jack storyline in this game. So instead of talking about that anymore, I'm going to go ahead and skip over that and just return back to the previous scene where Kronika shows up out of nowhere, stops time except for with Raiden because he's immune to it, and then she just transports Liukang away with no resistance. You've heard me talk about this at the end of some episodes, but I think Kronika is a really stupid villain, and this cutscene kind of confirms a lot of those feelings. So if you were so threatened by Liukang and Raiden teaming up together, why would you ever even risk having them being around each other? And let's remember that earlier in the game, geras stopped time, freezing Liukang and kunglao in place. She could have taken Liukang away in that moment, but she's like, no, we're just going to leave them here. Like, if he was such a big threat, why didn't you just remove him from the beginning? And then Raiden would never have even picked up on this whole pattern. Like, she's doing the Dr. Evil thing where she explains her entire plan so the heroes can stop it.
Let me help you. Kronika's promises to you are a cruel deception. She is the mother of Shinnok, the architect of your revenant enslavement.
But... no. She's Cetrion's mother.
Cetrion is Shinnok's sister. In Kronika's new era, Shinnok will be the darkness to balance Cetrion's light.
Which will only happen if the realms keep on fighting each other. What have I done? I'm a fool.
It is not foolish to fight for your family's betterment.
I'm sorry, Raiden. I promise to make this right.
Hell yeah, Luchador Geras is the best Geras.
I have died 1,000 deaths to prepare for this battle. My defeat is impossible. Yours, inevitable.
In fact, Why would she even confirm Raiden's suspicions that she was deliberately putting him and Liu Kang against each other in every single other timeline? I mean, sure, you could have just taken Liu Kang away, but you didn't have to explain everything. You didn't have to, like, just paint it out very clearly that the combination of those two individuals actually do have some sort of a chance to stop her plan. And it is especially annoying because Geras could have killed Liu Kang, but she told him not to. Geras could have removed the main threat to her plan. At the very least, you could have captured him right then and there, but no, we're going to just wait several chapters and then we're going to do it, while also giving away our plan. Kronika, I'm sorry, you suck. And sure enough, as I am saying all this stuff about Geras and how he could have potentially ended all these problems for Kronika if she had not just gotten in her own way, we happen to be fighting Geras. Yeah, Geras, you deserve so much better than Kronika. Although, she did do one good thing for you, and that was give you that luchador mask.
I will suffer you no more.
Drowning cannot kill me, Raiden.
That is unfortunate for you. The sea of blood is bottomless. You will fall forever.
I guess Geras now gets to see what the Netherrealm version of the Little Mermaid is like. I mean, that is the ultimate torture in the afterlife. Listening to a bunch of demon fish singing Under the Sea on repeat over and over again.
Now do I have your attention, Raiden?
The warriors sinking your fleet are under my command.
You have made a devil's bargain with Kronika, Frost.
You ignored me my entire life. Kronika saw my talent from the start.
Fight!
Oh hey, Frost, good to see you again. I totally remembered that you were in this game because you did so many important things prior to this moment. You know, like that one thing you did that one time in that one place. Yeah, that stuff. Yeah, anyway, Frost is about the most forgettable character in this game. I'd say she's right up there with Noob Saibot. Both of which are pretty cool characters, and I do think they are designed well, but they just don't do anything relevant to the story. They are completely forgettable characters, and I'm pretty sure both of them could be removed from this game, and it would not make any difference. Or what little difference there would be really minor and could easily be patched up by just saying some other character did it. Like, not even a playable character, just some random background character. So yeah, let's go ahead and do Frost a favor and just go ahead and kick her out of this game, because I'm pretty sure this is the very last fight that she is part of, and well, considering how irrelevant she has been so far, going ahead and beating her and removing her from the story mode is going to be a mercy. And then Frost, you are free to do all the things you usually do, you know, having a chip on your shoulder and feeling like everyone else is just not giving you enough credit for being you. And then you go ahead and stab them in the back. Yep, just keep being you, Frost. After all, you have not changed whatsoever since you were introduced. Jeez, I can't remember how many years ago.
Envy and ambition consume you.
Such wasted potential.
The good she could have done in command of these cyber Lin Kuei.
She commands them, not Sector. If so, she is linked to them. They follow her thoughts.
Then let them follow her to defeat.
Candy ass bitch.
command the army defending the beachhead.
Where will you be?
Land ho!
Time after time, Kronika's schemes have pitted us against each other. That cycle must end, Liu Kang.
This time it will!
Your power. Is this Kronika's gift?
A gift to myself, you could say.
You stole your own soul, perverted your own nature.
It's a lesson you taught me, Raiden. To fight my enemies by any means necessary.
Alright, I guess this is the fight that the creators thought was so good they had to do it twice in the same chapter. So we'll go ahead and end this chapter the exact same way it began, fighting Liu Kang. And in the very first fight of this chapter, I mentioned that Raiden versus Liu Kang is a fight that we saw take place in Mortal Kombat 9. And that fight ended up with Liu Kang dying. Keeping that in mind, now that we are fighting Liu Kang for the second time with Raiden, I have to hope that these fights continue to be more positive than the outcome of that Mortal Kombat 9 fight. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Raiden versus Liu Kang is not limited to just this game and Mortal Kombat 9. They also fought each other in the previous game, Mortal Kombat 10. I just kind of completely forgot about that one. So yeah, that means that these two have fought each other in every single story mode for every single game that I have played so far for Mortal Kombat. Kind of makes me wonder how far back that goes. Like, I haven't played Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe in a really long time. I'm kind of curious if they ended up fighting each other in that game too. May have to look that one up a little bit later, but it's kind of cool to think that these two have gone against each other so many times in just a few games. Also, I'm a little bit confused how taking the soul of the Liu Kang from the past would not somehow also impact the Liu Kang of the future.
I have conquered the darkness within me. You must do the same.
You will have to kill me.
I would rather save you.
Liu Kang. I am. And I am not.
What happened to Raiden?
He is part of me. Bound to my soul. He made me a god. For now, at least.
A god? Incredible.
Now he's out of her league.
My revenant counterpart. I have absorbed his knowledge of the Keep, of Kronika's plan. I know where to find the Hourglass. We can beat Kronika.
Out of desperation comes invention. I had not thought it possible for Raiden to surprise me. Our success is no longer certain. We must make haste.
I can't help but feel like you wouldn't be having to make haste if you hadn't blabbed about the whole weakness to Raiden and Liukang thing earlier.
Brace for impact!
I am so proud of the Realm Force. They are handling the demons so much better than they did back in Mortal Kombat 10. Well, alright, I kind of thought Scorpion killed all of you guys back in Chapter 3.
Does it mean you're back?
This means I'm sorry, Jackie. And hell yeah, I'm back.
So did we really need a whole army for this? I'm starting to feel like we over-prepared.
Stand back.
the battle lost?
Victory is still at hand. The hourglass is nearly ready. You will prevent Liukang's interference, but you will require more assistance.
Whatever happens, I am honored to fight at your side.
Likewise, Liukang.
Me too, brother.
May the Elder Gods protect us.
Oh no, it looks like the bad guy's got a Super Saiyan-like wardrobe power-up. Whatever will we do?
Liukang, god of thunder and fire. Combining with Raiden has the benefit of novelty, but it is also too little, too late.
Kitana! Kunglao!
Raiden's gift shields you from the power of the hourglass. Regardless, your allies are gone, while mine remain to defend me. Finish him!
Earthrealm's Jinsei flows within you. Let it fuel your fire.
Now stand down! I have no wish to harm you.
Harm me? You already killed me! My fate was sealed the moment I joined you at Raiden's side. It's a mistake I won't repeat in the new era.
Alright, it is final chapter of the game time. We are taking over Liukang, but more specifically, we are taking over the Fire God Liukang. That is quite the promotion for the longtime champion of Mortal Kombat. Raiden finally admitted to everybody that he was terrible at his job and decided he was going to step down and, well, let somebody who is possibly more deserving take over the position. So it is now time for us to pilot Liukang through these final chapters to prove he has what it takes to be the new protector of Earthrealm and maybe stop the crazy time merging, resetting bullshit that Kronika is doing. And just remember, in all likelihood, Raiden would never have figured this out had Kronika not basically explained it to him. Something that she had to do by leaving her fortress here and going all the way to Raiden to tell Raiden that this was technically kind of possible. And then she just left. She went out of her way to explain that this was something that could kind of happen. At the very least, she explained that the combination of Liu Kang and Raiden had a chance at fucking up her plan. Just why? Why the fuck would you do that? And now, courtesy of all of her hints, we get the merging of Raiden and Liu Kang for Fire God Liu Kang. And now he is going to stomp his way through the game, and once again Liu Kang is going to be the hero. Well, maybe. We do still need to actually beat the game to find out.
Our bond was no mistake.
Your ego knows no bounds.
I did not ask for this. It was thrust upon me.
It should have been me, Liu Kang, from the beginning. Thanks to Kronika, it will be.
Oh, kunglao, always playing second fiddle regardless of what game you are in. And even when you get this really cool wardrobe-changing power-up from Kronika, well, then you end up having to face off against the upgraded version of Liu Kang as well. It seems like you can't ever get anything nice without somebody else getting something even nicer. Wait, is it more nice or nicer? Oh, who cares? You get the idea. Once again, Liu Kang is outshining kunglao. Oh, right, and this is also why I ended up picking kunglao in the chapter where you could choose between him and Liu Kang. I knew that in the end, you would end up beating the game with Liu Kang. So it made sense to me to go ahead and use kunglao in the earlier chapter, that way kunglao would actually have a little bit of time to shine. And then whenever it came time to finally finish up the game, then it would be Liu Kang's turn to do the exact same thing.
Still you are alive.
Yes, Kronika. You were right to fear mine and Raiden's powers combined.
A demigod's power cannot rival that of an elder god. Cetrion! As you wish, mother. You match me step for step.
Because your heart is not in the battle, Cetrion. You fight for your mother's vision. But as a goddess of virtue, you know that her desired balance is folly.
Heed me, Cetrion. He lacks our vision and wisdom.
Please. No virtue is served by condemning the realms to endless war.
The greatest virtue is abiding my mother's will, Liu Kang. I cannot fail.
Although it is kind of funny to think that you could have just chose Liu Kang the entire time in that early chapter, and then get Liu Kang the entire time in this final chapter, and then you would be truly fulfilling Kung Lao's destiny of being outshined by Liu Kang forever. Anyway, enough about Kung Lao, it's time to focus on Cetrion, who is another member of the club of characters for which I kind of forgot were even in this game. I guess she gets the opportunity to go hang out with Frost and Noob Saibot. So yeah, Cetrion is one of the few opportunities you get to play as an Elder God in one of the Mortal Kombat games. Like, the only other one that comes to mind is Shinnok. Outside of that, you basically just get demigod characters and regular god characters like Raiden, Fujin, Taven, and Dagon, and I guess Rain. But despite falling into the category of a niche character, considering she is one of the only Elder Gods in the Mortal Kombat games that you can play as, Cetrion really doesn't do anything all that noteworthy. She's just kind of helping out her mom. Although it is implied that she did manage to defeat all of the other Elder Gods, and that's kind of cool. The only problem I have with that is we never actually get to see it. Raiden just kind of shows up after it already happened. And considering this game has some pretty awesome cutscenes of other battles, like the one we just saw where all the main characters were fighting all the Oni demon things, it would have been kind of cool to see Cetrion just going absolutely crazy against all of the Elder Gods. But we were kind of deprived of that opportunity.
Your heart betrays you, Cetrion.
I have failed you, dearest Cetrion. You have done admirably. Yet there is one final service to perform. Yes, Mother. I understand. You will be exalted in the new era, Cetrion. And you, Liukang, have failed! History rewinds, giving way to the new era!
No!
The realms as you knew them are undone, erased. You cannot save a future that no longer exists. There is only the new era!
Alright, it is finally final boss time for the story mode for Mortal Kombat 11, Fire God Liukang versus Kronika. Now, Mortal Kombat 11 does something that I don't think any of the other Mortal Kombat games have done so far with the story mode, at least prior to this moment, and that is that Mortal Kombat 11 technically has more than one ending. There's the ending where you die, which we're going to avoid that one because that one's bullshit. Then there is the more likely ending that you will get. I'll go ahead and just call it the normal ending. And to get the normal ending, you do have to beat Kronika, but you also will end up losing one round to her at some point. It doesn't really matter what the order is. You can win a round, lose a round, win a round, or you can lose the first round, then win the last two rounds, whatever. The key thing is you lose one round, but ultimately win the fight against Kronika, and then you get that normal ending. And then there is the most difficult ending to get, which is the one that we are going to highlight first in this story mode. And to get it, you have to beat Kronika without losing any rounds whatsoever. So yeah, I intend to show both of the possible endings for Mortal Kombat 11. They're really not that different from each other, but since there are more than one and it's not going to take too much effort to show both of them, I'll go ahead and get them knocked out, starting with the most difficult one, and then I'll show the easier of the two to get.
The realms will not fight your endless wars.
Fight me further and your friends are lost. They have no future unless I create it.
The future you offer is not worth living. It will not come to pass.
So I do believe the easier of the two endings to get, the one where you actually lose one of the rounds to Kronika, I think that one is considered the canonical ending to Mortal Kombat 11 story mode. I base that entirely on just having gone from the end of this story mode and to playing Mortal Kombat 1. And seeing how Mortal Kombat 1 begins, it gives me the impression that the easier of the two endings is the one that's technically the one that happens in Mortal Kombat 11, not the more difficult one. I'm not going to try and state that as an absolute fact or anything because I have not played the Aftermath DLC before, and I do know there is more to this story in that DLC, so I could be wrong. I don't know, but I am looking forward to finding out because after this, I am going to be doing the DLC Aftermath and getting to see what that storyline was actually like. Now, I never ended up playing it because the ending to it was kind of spoiled to me, and I just really never felt the need to go ahead and play it myself. I will save anyone watching this that problem, and I will not spoil anything here today, so be sure to stick around whenever I actually do play through Aftermath and you can see it for yourself if you haven't seen it already or played through it yourself. And we are about done. Let's go ahead and see the hardest ending for Mortal Kombat 11.
Our work is finished, Liukang.
Lord Raiden.
I am merely Raiden now. You have proven worthy to take my place as Earthrealm's new protector, Lord Liukang.
Where do we go from here?
The sands of time are yours to shape. You must return the hourglass to the dawn of time and sculpt a new history. A better one.
The fate of all realms in my hands? Raiden, I cannot do this alone.
Yes. You will need a partner with whom you can share the eons.
Kitana.
Your destinies have always been intertwined.
We are far in the past, but not so far that I cannot reach her.
Return with her to the dawn of time. Sculpt the hourglass's sands to forge a better future. I look forward to meeting again in the next timeline.
Then I will not say goodbye. Are you ready?
Yes. But no matter how we sculpt the sands, we cannot plan for every possibility. Mortals will make their own choices. New evils will arise.
Each realm must choose its own destiny. Whatever those choices, we will face them together.
And that was the hardest ending to get in Mortal Kombat 11, and the only difference between it and the other ending is, well, Kitana. Kitana's not in the other ending, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, let's go ahead and see the other ending, and again, I think that is the one that is technically the canonical ending to Mortal Kombat 11. And here we go.
Our work is finished, Liukang.
Lord Raiden,
I am merely Raiden now. You have proven worthy to take my place as the new protector of Earthrealm, once it is restored.
you honor me, Raiden.
The honor is mine, Lord Liukang. The sands of time are now yours to shape. It falls upon you to architect a new history.
The fate of all realms in my hands? Raiden, I cannot do this alone.
I shall advise you for as long as my mortality allows. But have no doubt, you are up to the task.
Then together, let us begin.
Alright, that was what I consider to be the canonical ending to Mortal Kombat 11. Although, like I said, we will see for sure whenever I start to play through Aftermath. And since we went ahead and completed the story mode for Mortal Kombat 11, I'm going to do what I normally do whenever I beat a game. I let the credits roll so that all the people who contributed into making the actual game that I got to enjoy get all the credit for all of their hard work. And while the credits roll in the background, I definitely have plenty of thoughts about Mortal Kombat 11. So for starters, the story mode overall. I think it's actually a really fun story. It's just also really nonsensical. And that's mostly due to the villain that we get stuck with. So just to recap on Kronika, her whole bit is that she's kind of a perfectionist and she wants her timeline to be perfect. And she calls it balancing the dark and the light or some crap like that. So her whole reason for interfering in this game is that she is upset with Raiden for changing time. which interrupts her attempts at perfecting her timeline and balancing out that light and dark crap. Now, I partially believe that the balancing of light and dark is just an excuse, because Raiden has been changing the events of time for about 20 years. But it was not until Shinnok, the son of Kronika, got decapitated, it was at that point that she started caring about what Raiden was doing and decided that she was going to just reset all of time and try again. And during the very next attempt, she would be doing so without there being a Raiden in that timeline. So yeah, you can say that she was trying to balance out the light and the dark, but from my perspective, it sounds like she was just really pissed about what happened to her baby boy. But that's fine, that's a plenty good motivation. I'm not knocking the motivation whatsoever. What I will knock though is just overall the execution of the plan. So as the game progressed, we learned a few things about what Kronika needs in order to actually reset the entire timeline. She needed 2 different forms of energy in order to make this happen. One of the forms of energy was the Jinsei, the life energy of the world. And the other thing she needed was an enormous amount of souls, because souls can apparently also be fuel for changing time. And in order to combine those 2 forms of energy, she was coupling them into her crown, which is some mythical relic that can also be used to control the sands of time. Altogether, they would have been able to control the hourglass of time to such an extent that they could reset time. I think that about covers it, so let's go ahead and look at those details a little bit closer. She already had the crown, so no worries there. She already had the hourglass, so also no worries there. The only 2 items that she really needed were the collection of souls and the Jinsei. And she ended up needing to fight her way through the protagonists in order to get both of them. But wait, why was she fighting against the protagonists? Why couldn't she just, stop time and then go retrieve those items without anyone ever knowing that she was doing anything whatsoever, and without them ever figuring out about her plot to reset time? Well, that is because Kronika decided to announce her intentions on more than one occasion. The very first obvious occasion was whenever she brought all the characters from across time into the present, alerting people that something really weird was going on. And then you had Geras going to get the Jinsei and kind of explaining some of the plot to Liukang and kunglao, when he could have just stopped time and then retrieved the Jinsei with time frozen. And then you could have also done the exact same thing when going to retrieve the souls from Shang Tsung's island. Oh, and you also have Kronika popping up in order to explain her plan to Raiden in the second to last chapter of the game. So the only thing that was keeping Kronika from being completely anonymous and just subtly getting all the items that she needed without anyone knowing and then executing her plan, well, the only person that was stopping her was her. As the only reason that she had any form of opposition was because she just could not keep her mouth shut and keep herself from interfering with time before it was absolutely necessary to reset all of time. And that's especially bad considering she has lived through multiple timelines. She is older than any other being in all of existence, basically. So you would think that she would have an unfathomable amount of experience that would give her some sort of an advantage, or at least the foresight to know that this plan's probably going to work without anyone else knowing. But instead, she does the dumbest thing she could possibly do. And also, let's go back to Shinnok real quick, because Shinnok being decapitated was what really caused her to set all this in motion. She got pissed off because he got decapitated. But why was she so upset about it? As we know from the old timeline back in Mortal Kombat 4, Shinnok is always destined to lose in some way or another. She has done this timeline several different times. And even in the timelines where Shinnok does not get decapitated, he's still destined to be tortured and trapped forever in the Netherrealm. So you're saying she was okay with sending her son to be tortured in the Netherrealm for all of eternity in every single other timeline, but when some other asshole decapitates her son, suddenly it's going too far? Okay, sure, why not? But yeah, I think out of all the antagonists in Mortal Kombat history, Kronika might be my least favorite. It's not because she's necessarily a bad idea for a villain, a Titan of Time is a pretty powerful concept for a main antagonist, but they make her out to be too much of a fucking idiot in this game for me to really enjoy. Even other screw-ups like Shao Kahn back in Mortal Kombat 9 weren't fucking up this hard. But yeah, besides Kronika, the plot overall is a very fun one, pretty high-stakes situation, and it accomplishes exactly what the creators wanted to do, which was a reset button for the entire series one more time, just like they did with Mortal Kombat 9. They wanted something to be able to be a launching point for that to happen whenever they released their next game, which was Mortal Kombat 1. So overall, this does what they wanted to do. I do feel like it was a little bit too early to just reboot the entire series again, but if that's what their heart was set on, this was certainly a not too bad way of doing it. But this is just me talking about the story mode for the game. There's a lot more to Mortal Kombat 11 than just the story mode. Or, well, there should have been anyway. In my personal opinion, there really wasn't that much to do in Mortal Kombat 11 whenever it released. On the positive side, Mortal Kombat 11 had by far the best crypt mode that Mortal Kombat has ever had. You get to go into Shang Tsung's island and basically just pillage it for all of its goodies and find all kinds of other hidden challenges throughout the entire area, like finding the invisible reptile, finding the Ermac getting dropped off of the pit stage, just all kinds of crazy shit. It's really, really cool. But whenever you finish all that up and unlock everything or find all the secrets, there's nothing more to do in this really elaborate area. So as cool as it is, it's kind of short-lived unless you're just trying to get every single treasure chest or something like that. So what do you do when you beat story mode and you're not really caring about the crypt anymore? I mean, you could play online, but whenever the game first released, there weren't really that many online modes. I mean, you had casual, you had ranked, and you had King of the Hill. So it's really easy to get burnt out on online mode whenever the game first came out, and then way down the road they would eventually release the Combat League, and that would make the online play a lot more interesting. Problem for me is they waited so long to actually have that Combat League released and to make it a little bit more competitive. I had already lost interest in the game long before that ever happened. And then you had the towers, which, I mean, the towers are the towers. You're just fighting a bunch of meaningless fights in order to unlock gear. It's just a grinding session. Unfortunately, Mortal Kombat 11 really did not have that much to offer overall whenever it launched. I thought the story was, it was alright. The crypt was really, really cool, and everything else was honestly kind of bland. I kind of excuse it a little bit with Mortal Kombat 10 because it was an older game, so I was expecting it to have less features, but by the time Mortal Kombat 11 came out, I was just expecting more. And yet again, the story mode was short. It was the same amount of chapters as Mortal Kombat 10, and keeping that in mind, it was even less chapters than Mortal Kombat 9. So it was another scenario where we should have a far superior game technically speaking, but we're still only getting 12 chapters of gameplay. And unlike Mortal Kombat 10, Mortal Kombat 11 doesn't even have the mini games anymore. So technically it has even less content to it than Mortal Kombat 10 did. Pointing all of that out, I would say Mortal Kombat 11 is definitely behind Mortal Kombat 10. Like, it's really not a bad game. And I'm actually glad I picked it up again because I remember not liking the combat changes from Mortal Kombat 10 to 11 a whole lot. Although I kind of came around to them a lot more during this playthrough. I ended up liking them a lot more the second time around than I did the first time around. So the gameplay's fine, the story is okay, the crypt is cool, but overall it's just a really limited game. Although the customization is kind of awesome. In fact, it might be a bit excessive. There's way too much customization to your characters, which sounds like a complaint, but hey, you can do a lot with your characters, and that's not a bad thing. It's kind of cool. You also had a bunch of brutalities and fatalities you get for your characters, which are a nice touch as well. I don't think Mortal Kombat 11 was a bad game. I just don't really think there was enough to keep me interested long term. So yeah, if I had to rank them, number 1's going to be Mortal Kombat 10, number 2 is going to be Mortal Kombat 11, and then number 3 is going to be Mortal Kombat 9. And that's not saying that Mortal Kombat 9 is bad, it's just it's kind of dated. But yeah, alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. So yeah, that was the standard story mode for Mortal Kombat 11, and we're going to be busting out the DLC story mode Aftermath in the next episode. For now though, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough on Thor's Entertainment. And again, I am Thor. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to check out my other content on the Thor's Entertainment channel. Besides that though, take care and I will see you next time.